We welcome His Lordship Justice Abhay Ahuja, the Principal of the Government Law College, the President of the Chamber of Tax Consultants, the presenters for the evening, that is Dr. Shivaram. We have Jayant Gokhale, and we have Gopal, who would be the panelist for the evening. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have online about more than 70 people who have virtually connected with us, and therefore we shall start right in earnest. We start with the Saraswati Vandana, and while the Saraswati Vandana is being played, I would request the dignitaries to please proceed to light the lamp. May the dignitaries, Justice Ahuja, Principal, President Vijay, Dr. Shivaram, Jayant, Gopal, Abhay, and Harish Kenya, where is the past president? While we conclude the Saraswati Vandana, we thank you. We'll continue with the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तब जय गाथा। जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे जय हे जय हे, जय 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 हे।
Jai Hind. Thank you. A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this first inaugural program of the joint program with the Government Law College and the Chamber of Income Tax, that is Practical Income Tax and Litigation. This particular program has taken almost more than a year for planning. I agree, with the principal that she's taken a lot of effort to see, and our coordinator Niyati Mankar has been coordinating with the principal for a long time, continuously trying to build up this particular program. And we are very fortunate that this particular program has seen the light of the day. This particular program will give the students an exposure to the Income Tax Act. Let me tell you, the Income Tax Act has got more than 258 or 98 sections, and the taxman's volume runs into 1500 pages. With the schedules, it is another 100 pages more. And you can imagine, to master that is a task. To admit very honestly that I myself have not read cover to cover of this particular voluminous book that is there. And every year all the pages get added because there are a lot of amendments, and we have to keep updating ourselves. So students who are going to be exposed to this particular learning will have to ensure that you keep yourself abreast with the latest amendments that take place, along with the various happenings in the court which will be there. You will get an exposure, and a nice exposure of what lies ahead. With these few words, let me hand over the mic to the principal for her welcome note.
Ma Saraswati la Vandan. Today's chief guest, Honorable Shri Justice Abhay Ahuja sir, Bombay High Court. Guest of honor, Shri C.A. Jayant Gokhale sir. Senior Advocate Dr. K. Shivaram sir. Moderator Advocate K. Gopal sir. The President of Chamber of Tax Consultant, Shri Vijay Bhatt sir. Chairperson, Student Committee Advocate Niyati, and Chartered Accountant Akbar Merchant sir. And all the students who have registered for this course, those who are present here personally and those who are virtually present for this course, I welcome you all, very warm welcome and very good evening to one and all. The certificate course titled Certificate Course on Practical Income Tax and Litigation is a unique name which we have decided to give. CTC and Government Law College, from last 7 to 8 years, we are jointly organizing event at national level, national tax moot competition. And while discussing about moot court competition, suddenly we strike somewhere that we must have some kind of a certificate course, that too on a tax law or income tax. Then we decided to design it, and this is the day on which we are launching it, we are starting it. Friends, when we studied law, one of the toughest subject and compulsory subject was income tax. But now that subject is an option or optional. Being it an optional subject, many of the students choose another subject rather than income tax. Basically, whenever I talk to the students, I say which are the two basic things which you love more. Of course, all the students, they are in a college age, that age, particular kind of age is there to them. They start immediately thinking कि मुझे सबसे प्यारा क्या है और what is the two things which I love most. आप बता पाएंगे? The first and foremost, everybody starts कि नहीं, वो नहीं समझ रहे हैं कि जो इसके बारे में बाकी लोग बात करते हैं कॉलेज एज में. But the first and foremost thing is we love ourselves very much, none other than ourselves. And the second one is the property, the money. And therefore, I think whatever way we go for having the income, we must know what is the tax related to it. So it is that way very close to our heart. While studying income tax, we also had the Wealth Tax Act and Gift Tax Act. So we also studied those. While framing this particular course very thoroughly, the actual designer of the course have taken a lot of efforts. It encompasses the constitutional provisions relating to income tax, income from salaries, income from house property, profits and gains from business and profession, income from capital gains, income from other sources, tax calculations, taxation of unaccounted income, most importantly the deductions, TDS, filing of returns, assessment and prohibited transactions, penalty and prosecutions, and very importantly, dispute resolution mechanism. It is a course with 30 sessions and all practical exposure. I am really happy that more than 100, just now Niyati was telling me 160 students have enrolled for this course, and hope that you all will enjoy studying this course. You will enjoy, I am sure. This is because this particular course do have peculiar characteristics. Number one, it is online. Number two, it is convenient. Time, which has been taken into consideration. The third, very important, is excellent subject experts are with us to teach. It is a short course. It is just 3 months course. Good practical exposure will be there. Project based assessment we are going to have. And the thing which you will like is there will be no exam. Traditional way of exams will not be there. Like something the paper will be given to you and the gradation will be done on the basis of the assessment you have submitted or paper you have written. And lastly, e-certificate will be given to you all. I am very proud that this course is taking a shape in the form of a baby with the cooperation of CTC. The Government Law College, as you all know, has been established in the year 1855. It is the oldest law college in Asia and a pioneer in legal education. It is an institution par excellence. The generations of legal luminaries who have been nurtured by this unique institution have made a seminal contribution to the evolution of the Indian legal system. Dr. Dinsha Mullah, Mr. A.A. Faizi and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar have all been the principals of this venerated institution. The first Chief Justice of India, Honorable Mr. Hari Lal Kania, was an alumnus of this college. Former Honorable Chief Justices of India, Mr. M.H. Kania, Mr. P.N. Bhagwati, Mr. S. Bharucha, all began their career from GLC. The Honorable President, ex-President of India, Her Excellency Pratibha Devi Singh Patil, the Chief Justice of India, Honorable Mr. Justice S.H. Kaparia, Soli Sarabji, Fali Nariman, Anil Diwan, Gulam Vahanvati, all these honorable persons, they all have been the students of this very institution. And I am very proud in communicating you that even Honorable Abhay Ahuja sir is alumnus of our college. Not only that, the President of CTC is also the alumnus of this college. We are running 5 years course as well as 3 years course, 2 postgraduate diploma courses in IPR and security law, 2 certificate courses, 5 add-on courses. We do have LLM as well as the research center. And now we can proudly say that we are NAC accredited as well as ISO certified institution. CTC have completed 99 years, if I am not wrong. It is 99 years old NGO interested in extending education, and that institution is with us. I appreciate the efforts taken by CTC team right from making of the syllabus to publicity. I also appreciate the efforts taken by Jadhav sir from GLC for making all the arrangements in the hall. I am really very happy that Honorable Judge Shri Abhay Ahuja ji has consented to address us and has given his precious time on behalf of GLC and of course on behalf of CTC also. I take this opportunity to thank him on CTC. I welcome you, sir. I am also thankful to Shri Jayant Gokhale sir, Senior Advocate Dr. K. Shivaram sir and Moderator Advocate K. Gopal sir for their cooperation and giving their time to us. I wish good luck for this first certificate course on practical income tax and litigation. I once again welcome you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. To add to what you mentioned, that more than 160 students have registered for this particular program. It is a pan-India program and we have more than 60 students outside Mumbai. So that's a welcome thing and it's a very, very good progress. The first launch, we've seen a very remarkable numbers that we have registered. And I am sure as the program takes shape, when it happens, the second program happens, there will be more numbers to join in. I now invite the President of the Chamber of Tax Consultants, Mr. Vijay Bhatt, to give his welcome address.
Respected Justice Honorable Shri Ahuja Sahib, Senior Faculty Members Dr. Shivaram Sir, Jayant Gokhale Sir, Gopal Sir, our immediate past President Shri Harish Bhai Kenya, past President Ajay Sir, my Chamber's office bearers Neha and Vitam, my Managing Council members Paresh Bhai, Ashok Bhai, dignitaries in the audience and dignitaries and students online virtually attending this session. Welcome and good evening to all of you. On behalf of the Chamber of Tax Consultants, I am happy to invite you all and welcome you all to this unique course on income tax. Madam just mentioned that this course is beautifully designed. I will add one more line. that you don't have to pay income tax on this course. So this has been really very well designed course, and I'm sure that right from basics to the advanced levels, everything will be covered in this course. Faculties, paper writers, they have all put in so much hard efforts, and they have made sure that students will also feel it very interesting. As you mentioned that in our days, yes, people used to get afraid, like now taxpayer is getting afraid of income tax. Students used to get afraid about income tax paper. So we used to read Jhapwala that time, Jhapwala series, and thereafter those popular 3 test papers and so on and so forth. So these were all wonderful college time remembering, connecting this today course that none of us one day earlier realized or thought of, that we will be also sharing this our knowledge in terms of to the upcoming generation, because students are future eventually. So friends, coming back to our chamber activity, let me update you about what is Chamber of Tax Consultants. The Chamber of Tax Consultants, formed in 1926, is an education association spreading taxation laws knowledge across pan-India basis, whether it is direct tax, indirect tax, international tax, and so on and so forth. We have our various committees through which we spread our knowledge: direct tax committee, indirect tax committee, international tax committee. Several programs of education keep on happening during the year. Now budget just came, so tomorrow we have a lecture meeting on the budget, where our direct tax chairman Mr. Viraj Shah is over here. He has taken the lead to organize one lecture online tomorrow. Our CTC, Chamber of Tax Consultant website is ctconline.org. Please note it down. You can enroll yourself for all this event. You can become member also. Membership forms are available outside on the table over there. Then we have in the next week forthcoming programs here, indirect tax session, where GST Council also made some notification in the recent meeting. And followed by, of course, we have our transfer pricing course, where our Ms. Karishma Fatherpekar is here, who is the chairperson of our International Tax Committee. Her team has taken the lead for transfer pricing course also, which are, all these sessions are online, so you can all take the benefit of these activities. I will not take much of the time between you and our learned speakers. Looking forward for a wonderful learning session. Happy learning to everyone. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Vijay Bhai. Let me now invite Niyati Mankar, Advocate Niyati Mankar, opening remarks. She's put in a lot of effort to ensure that this program is developed and presented to you. Niyati.
Thank you, Abhay sir. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and warm welcome once again to the inaugural ceremony with panel discussion for our certificate course on practical income tax and litigation. As chairperson of the student committee, it is my honor to address this esteemed gathering. Friends, income tax is an integral aspect of our legal and financial system, affecting individuals, businesses, and the economy at large. This course is designed to simplify the complexities of the Income Tax Act, making it accessible and comprehensible to all. Our objective is to educate and raise awareness about the Income Tax Act, which is binding and applicable to everyone. Through this course, we aim to provide practical knowledge at affordable rates, ensuring that financial literacy and legal compliance are within everyone's reach. Non-compliance of the Income Tax Act entails serious consequences, including penalties and prosecutions. Therefore, understanding the intricacies of this law is crucial, and not only for those practicing in the field of income tax but for everyone. As a civil and corporate lawyer also, knowledge of income tax is indispensable for advising clients on various transactions, ensuring legal compliance and optimal financial planning. This course will cover a wide range of topics, from fundamental principles to litigation strategies, which will be presented by seasoned income tax professionals. It is designed to benefit not just tax practitioners but also students, business owners, and professionals from diverse fields. By equipping participants with comprehensive knowledge, we aim to provide them to navigate the complexities of this act with confidence and expertise. I urge everyone to take full advantage of this opportunity. I also take an opportunity to encourage all of you to become a member of the chamber if you are not yet a member of this esteemed organization. For your continuous professional development and support to all its members. Please stay updated on our activities by subscribing to our social media handles where we regularly share valuable insights and updates. I would also like to announce that we are going to keep the registrations of this course open till 10th of August and recordings of the sessions will also be provided. So those who are yet to enroll and would like to enroll, you may still do so. If any of your friends and acquaintances want to do it, you may inform them about the same. Thank you everyone for being here today, and I wish you all an enriching and enlightening experience in this course. Thank you.
Thank you, Niyati. We now begin our real session, and to begin with, we have His Lordship Justice Abhay Ahuja. Welcome, sir, to this institution, your alma mater. Sir, His Lordship was a graduate of the Government Law College, and sir, let me wish you a very happy birthday in advance. He will celebrate his 55th birthday on 24th of this particular month. A very, very happy birthday to you, dear Lordship. A student of this particular esteemed college, he completed his LLB in Business Masters, and he qualified as a solicitor in the year 1995 in the Supreme Court and also a Supreme Court of England and Wales in 1999, enrolled as an advocate on record with the Supreme Court of India in the year 2000. He practiced primarily in commercial and corporate laws, property and taxation, representing and advising the government in its departments. He also we wish him well, and to cut short what his biodata is because it's running really long. He was a standing counsel for the Income Tax Department in the year 2008 and till his elevation to the Bombay High Court in the year 2020. Welcome, sir, and I welcome you to this particular August program. Before we hand over the mic to you, may I request the President Vijay Bhatt to honor him with a small token. We also have on the panel today evening Dr. Shivaram, a senior advocate and a senior counsel of the Bombay High Court, practicing primarily on the tax laws, and I request Dr. K. Gopal to welcome him with a small token. Shivaram, sir. We also have a very senior chartered accountant, Mr. Jayant Gokhale. May I request Ajay or Ajay Singh, our past president, to welcome him with a small token. We have Dr. Gopal as the chief moderator for the evening and for this particular panel discussion. May I request Niyati to please welcome him with a token. Thank you. Niyati, do we have a photograph session now or later? Now? Yeah, please, can I request the dignitaries? Please.
how can we miss our dear Akbar Bhai, who has been, who really immediately accepted our request to host this particular our course, and he's kind enough and gracious enough. Just very short notice. Yesterday we were planning, and then we decided that Akbar Bhai will be definitely giving, of course, justice to this event. So I request. May I invite Harish Bhai, our immediate past president, to do the honors.
Can I request the dignitaries to please step down for a photograph, and then we'll proceed with the program. The entire program, and those faculty who are present here will please join in on the stage. These are all seniors in the profession, advocates, chartered accountants, all very, very senior in the profession, and this is the advantage you would get from attending this particular session. I'm also one of the faculty. Thank you. Can I invite the managing council members of the chamber? Please come up for a photograph. And Varsha, who is the past chairman of the students committee. Varsha, please. One of the qualities of Varsha is that she is a very good singer. If opportunity provides someday, we'll hear her sing beautiful songs. And for that, you'll have to enroll for the Chamber's outstation program. Ajay, you're the past president, please. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. We now begin with today's evening program. We have the panel discussion. Gopal, it's all yours. Please take over.
Good evening, friends. Now, Niyati, if you are achieving something which, if I remember, Shivaram sir will also remember, our past president Narayan Verma ji had a dream project of having a certificate course in direct taxes. At that time, we tried a lot, but we couldn't succeed. I was recollecting that with Akbar also, because Akbar used to be the president when I was working for him as a council member in direct taxes. Now this is a students, it's an opportunity for them to interact with professionals and know that. And as the principal madam was saying that why students don't choose income tax as an option, because they choose income, tax they leave it out. So in a lighter vein, if we tell them, and this is the entire certificate courses, by choosing income tax you can choose income also, and this is a very complicated field but very interesting field. Just like it throws up all the fields where a lot of statistics is involved. Take it stock exchange, take it cricket, everywhere so much statistics are involved. Then wherever statistics are involved, then people get more challenging jobs to do and challenging things to do. So income tax is one of such field. And now today, luckily I got an opportunity to throw some questions. So one is my lordship. Anyway, we have been arguing matters and he has been answering by way of judgments. Today some questions which are very general in nature and which will give some guidance to the students. And definitely Dr. K. Shivaram, under whom I have learnt my, all my taxation. If I have got something positive, that is because of him. If I am not able to, then it is my fault, not able to learn from him. Jayant is a very good friend of mine. We have enjoyed a lot of, taxing as well as the learning sessions. So with that, sir, shall I just in a first very general question, what is the overview of tax litigation practice? Past, present and future. Question comes, is the future as promising as the past was glorious? Why I say glorious? Nani Falkiwala, all big name, big jurists, the names come from tax field. Sir, I would like to know that what is your no, that is the motivating factor when students will start picking up income tax as the subject.
All right. Good evening, everybody. It's very heartening to be back here to my alma mater, Government Law College, and with all my old colleagues, Dr. Shivaram, Gopal, Abhay. Of course, Niyati has been coming after I became a judge. Devendra still appears in the courts. He's a good professor, I'm told. The question is, what is the future of taxation? Let us put it very simply. Why do people don't want to get into tax? Taxation is a fearful word. If you ask a common man, do you pay tax? They'll say, I have nothing to do with tax. It creates a sort of fear, as if somebody is taking away something from you. What you have earned through your hard work, or something that is yours. So why this fear? Because all through generations, what we have learnt about taxation, taxing authorities, is that they are going to take away something from you. Isn't it? That is the concept of taxation we have, not just in India, all over the world. But that is because that is what we have been made to feel. It is not something that it is money which we collect as a contribution for the security of the country or for developmental projects in the country. That is not how we were taught. Tax means the literal meaning of tax. You are being troubled. Right? So that is why we have a lot of misconception, misunderstanding, and a fearful reaction to anything that is tax. And therefore, not many students want to take up tax. Initially, this was a compulsory subject when we studied law in LLB. We had income tax, we had sales tax. I think it was 60 and 40 if I am not mistaken. As time progressed, that became optional. Because, like every authority in this world, everybody wants to be popular. So don't tax people. Don't trouble them. So make taxation studies optional. This course, what I understand, I had the occasion to go through the syllabus, I am told has been very meticulously prepared, will allay and elevate those.
Actually qualified as a chartered accountant. I also qualified as a lawyer incidentally, but nobody has ever asked me, why is that? It is what you are able to put across to your client which is most important. When I take a client, whether legal or chartered accountant's client, you are practicing a profession. What credibility you are able to convey is the root of your success. And if you want credibility, it is not just about being a qualified person, but it is also how you perform as a qualified person. And believe me, businessmen, and I have been dealing with them for long periods of time, have got an excellent network to understand who is what. So, if you carry an air of credibility with you and a projection of your ethical and honest behavior and conduct, people respect you for that, and it adds to your professional stature. And as a chartered accountant who is also in the field of audit, let me share with you, there are times when you have to tell the client, I am sure lawyers also have to do it, that I am telling you that this will not be acceptable. Even if I am representing you, I will not plead a point particularly, or I will not do a certain thing. On face value, somebody will feel offended. But believe me, in the heart of their heart, they know that what you are saying is right, and their respect for you as an ethical professional will go up. And therefore, I am not going into high funda about ethics. I am simply saying, if you want to be successful, it cannot be devoid of ethics. It can lead to temporary monetary gain. I am distinguishing between monetary gain and success. If you want success in the profession, you have to be ethical. If you want temporary monetary gain, you can choose your options. That's how I look at it.
Thank you, Jayant. Thank you, Jayant. One thing, see, in profession, if you are in business, you can make profit. In profession, you earn stature. No stature can be earned without ethics. Your ethical behavior only will give you stature. As a profession, if you want to be stature, I will give one anecdote or one in Supreme Court decision. There was a valuation issue came up. The Supreme Court judges said, we believe in this valuation because this valuation is given by Mr. Malegam. So that is the credibility a professional earns, the ethical behavior ends. So that is possible only in profession. You can make tons of money in business, but stature is not granted there. You can earn stature only by ethical behavior. That's what I have learned from my senior Dr. Shivaram, his senior B.H. Patil, our doyens of the profession. Take it from Mr. Dastu, Dr. Y.P. Trivedi. That's what it is. Now with this, I will move on to the next very simple question, sir. What is the thin line separating tax planning and tax evasion?
I only know the difference between the spellings. One is tax planning, the other is tax evasion. But I think Dr. Shivaram is better suited to answer this question.
I agree with you, sir.
Only thing is that all the now see what we have to see now. See the 1967 tax rate was 98%, whereas today it's only 35%. And you know, like today, I just about 2.2% population pays the tax. Before that, what we used to argue about 10-15 years back, we argue same argument on tax planning before the High Court or Tribunal, it will not be accepted. Because no court will come to your rescue where you are adventurous tax planning. No court will come. Reasonable, yes. Adventurous, no. Let me share with you one concrete example. Where you know that we had a corporate client, Mr. Patil Saab and myself, we went to Palkiwala with the client. They wanted to do some planning. We approached him, sir, this is the client, they want to do this. The charter could advise them to do this. Palkiwala said, yes, you can do. You may substitute for tribunal also, you may substitute for High Court also, but Supreme Court you will. Therefore, you decide now whether you want to go ahead with the planning, not to go ahead with the planning. Then we said, no, not possible. Not possible, it's not the case, not possible. It is possible, but ultimately if we lose in the Supreme Court, that is not the planning at all. Therefore, now what we do, Hon'ble Gopal also know that when our client comes to us, ask them the two questions. Are you in the planning stage or are you in the appeal stage? If it is the appeal stage, then of course we will argue the matter, what will be the outcome. But we are planning stage, we will not advise you anything adventurous type. That should be our, I think, the advice to the young professionals. Don't adventurize now, because if it adventurous, you know, at this juncture is not at all advisable. And considering the penalty, interest and prosecution, ultimately you will be no more. You will feel that all right, you would advise to pay the tax, I would have paid the tax. So therefore, this is the one thing. Many times you have come, the young chartered accountant, based on the some judgment of the tribunal, sir, tribunal held like this, based on this, we will plan like this. But nobody can advise, or nobody can plan based on tribunal judgment. And I have seen tribunal benches. One member bound to pay a year or that. So that cannot be the advice for the planning is concerned. Unless conceptually very clear, legally very clear, and there is no free from doubt. And your planning should be such, you are able to get the justice or the assessment is done by the ITO level himself. The ITO decide your issue in favor, that is as good as Supreme Court. That is what we advise them, and otherwise, Gopal, I think, adventure planning, not at all advice.
Correct, sir. I agree with you, sir. Jayant.
Okay, so another perspective once more. Of course, again concurring with what Shivaram ji has said, that adventurism is out. But I'll share with you a very old experience. I used to teach once upon a time, I used to teach taxation. And at that very time, my head of department, Mr. Kanu Doshi, had with great foresight, had changed the subject head from tax planning to tax management. And we had a long discussion with the director of the institution as to why this change. And the thought process was that the era of tax planning, adventurism if you call it that way, is past. Society and judiciary, because judiciary is a reflection of society, whether it is at ITAT or at the higher courts, is not inclined to favor extreme instances of avoidance of tax. What is better in today's world is tax management. And in fact, if you see, and I happen to be associated with companies in their management and so on, and they have very significant and powerful risk management committees. And where we come to the issue of tax risk, if I am sitting on the board over there, I would take a very negative view if an over-ambitious approach to tax planning is done. And that is why what actually needs to be inculcated is a practical approach. Yes, there are chances that even with the right advice and the right approach, you may still fail at certain levels of judiciary because that interpretation may not find favor. That is not adventurism. But to go in a predetermined manner to try and take every loophole, every comma, every full stop is not the order of the day. And therefore again, but coming back to the course, why that is important to understand these nuances is you are entitled to plan in the grey areas so long as you are not in the almost black area. And therefore there is a big distinction, and where you draw that line is very significant. I would therefore erase the word tax planning from our dictionary altogether. I would prefer tax management. Management implies a balancing of costs and risks because every risk carries a cost. So what you need to do is that your cost, today's council, although Shivaram may not be or Gopal may not be examples of that sort of cost, but today's council will end up costing you more than the tax. So if you ultimately enter into extremely risky tax planning, you will end up paying more in legal fees rather than in taxes. So it is better to be more pragmatic, evaluate your cost and risk and go for management rather than extreme planning. That's how I would put it.
Litigation is quite expensive, and litigation costs time and energy also. So better, but definitely anybody who wants to, you call it planning or management, people would like to minimize their taxes. Within the four corners of law, you can very well do it. But if you cross it, then consequences are going to be there. Now, sir, one very relevant question for all students, and for me as a student, I have been facing this thing. The great Falkiwala, great jurist, he had once referred to the ever-evolving tax law, the maddening uncertainty of tax laws. Sir, how do you suggest students to keep them updated with this ever-evolving tax laws? Certainty is not the constant there.
Keep reading, keep studying. We are all students till the end of our lives. Keep yourself updated. Join up with any of the refresher courses or courses on continuous professional development. Have these, I think your chamber has these circles. So keep attending those meetings regularly, online, offline. That's the only way to keep updated. Technology is helping us a lot. Like this course is online, most of it. So I think that's the only way. Keep reading. Relevant books are there, commentaries are there, and the latest case laws are now available on the mobile. Whatever is, people are very good. They can summarize it very beautifully. So just keep in touch with the law and through the technology. That's my advice.
I fully endorse the view of the Honorable Justice, but I may add a few more. As a student, that of course reading has to be there. What I feel, especially Mumbai, one is that the BCA journal is one of the best journal what we have. They should read monthly to cover most of the important update. Secondly, chamber journal. Your special issues so the students should read on that. They will come to know what is going on. Thirdly, AFTP journal, where you find Ajay's editor, quarterly digest they are making. And fourthly, for ITD online, where you find yearly digest of about 3,000 case laws we are digesting, putting for free of them. Apart from that, it's all avenues, as Justice rightly put it, they are available for the student which were not there when we are doing the practice. Let me share with you, Gopal. When we were doing the practice, for getting the ITAD judgment was difficult. We used to tell the seniors, sir, is it available? He said, no, you have to take permission from the client. So it was difficult to get the judgment. Whereas now we for you a complete transparency. Supreme Court, as they come, High Court, as they come, Tribunal will come, And earlier, what used to happen, when all the publications, only judgment favorable to the SSO only to go, not against the SSO. So we are not doing at all what are the against. Now it is not so. Now the entire, due to your technology, entire world is yours. So this is a learning process. I think very good scope is there. Anyway, you can able to learn it and you can update it. One is able to learn better, able to digest better. I think he will shine in the profession. That's what I think.
Agree with you, sir.
Quick answer. Of course, what Shivaram sir said and what Justice Ahuja said, reading of course is the key, there is no question. For students, I would say the emphasis is less on judgments and more on understanding the fundamental act. And I'll just give you one small example. My grandmother, once I had qualified and I became fairly busy in practice, she used to see me having a hectic schedule, very disturbed with so many pressures. She advised me with all good intent. She said, Jayant, start reading the Bhagavad Gita. If you can read few verses of that every day in the morning, please do that. I thought for a moment and I told her, Ajay, I read Income Tax Act on a continuing basis, and every time that I read it, even if I read the same section 45 or 54, based on my experience in the last 6 months, every time I read the same section, I get a new light into it. So there is no end to reading the same section. You may feel that I have read section 2, charging section, etc., definition, charging section, n number of times. But based on your experiences, based on what judgments you might have read from time to time, your perspective of the same section keeps changing, and you can never say that I have read Income Tax Act enough. So from that perspective, I would simply say read and read again.
Thank you, Jayant. I think here I will say one thing. Keep the learner alive. Till the learner is alive, for all, we remain students forever. I remember one thing when I was, my initial years when I was working with Shivaram sir, one matter came up about section 68. I said, Ki section 68? He said, Ki no, open the Income Tax Act. Read it when you are along with your brief. Don't ever think that you know the section. Always read the section from the text, and it will always show you a different meaning. And he is so correct. And with this, I will come to the next question. And sir, no doubt change is constant, but what is the impact of the tax reforms on the litigation practice? Do you feel that these tax reforms have changed the tenor of the litigation? Yes, sir.
Like the society evolves, tax litigation has also evolved. Earlier, there were physical appearances. Now you have online faceless assessment systems. So it will evolve with the way the society evolves. It will always be a positive evolution. There will always be resistance to it. There will be hiccups. There will be resistance, obviously, to change. But then, with technology, if we move ahead, I think these are positive reforms.
Sir.
In fact, I fully agree with the Honorable Justice, but let me share with you, like, Gopal, that the faceless assessment, it is complete change. According to me, that is the very good move by the government. And I'll tell you, 97% returns are accepted, 3% all taken for scrutiny. And that now, because of the faceless scheme, 24/7 you can update your return or you can give submissions, and these all were not available when the earlier days. But one important change what I found when few years back, I asked one of the consultants, have you bought the latest book of income tax? He said, no. Then how you practice? He said, oh, ready report. He said, my only investment in here is only one ready report. I don't require any act at all. But he had his practice. But now it has changed. Now, redactional practice will not work. Now he has to be actually know the law. He should be able to give the reply properly to the assessing officer. He should be able to update his return, and then only be able to compete with the other tax practitioners. Therefore, course like this, what chamber is organized with a long way. So now what I feel that the contest practice will do, and it's already gone. Earlier people used to say that all right, I know this officer, don't worry, harassment will be done. It will not be so. Now no contact. It is only your return and your submission that will only decide. Therefore, preparing submission you should know the law. Without law will not be. Let me also share with you from our office what we found. About 98% of the submissions what Ilham and our church used to be for state appeal, and everything we got the list from state appeal. 98%. Only 2% only matter coming to us. That shows that this entire scheme is working very good, and it is ultimately how best we are able to put it and how submissions that will decide. For that, the knowledge of the law is very, very important. This is what I feel, Gopal. That will be final.
Okay.
Change is good, and we have to go with that. And once go with that, life will become easy. Yes.
Yes. Jayant, would you like to add something?
Very briefly, as Shivaram said, with faceless assessment, nature of practice will keep changing. Change is a constant in life. I would not be surprised if Meta and AI are able to prepare fundamental submissions, of course, implemented with greater refinement with your own knowledge and awareness about the nuances of the law. But I would only simply say that those who are capable of adapting and evolving are those who will succeed and those who will do well. So I think nature of practice, challenges in practice will keep changing, but you have to be ready to adapt and evolve. That's how it is.
I agree with you. And as Lordship has said, see, tools are available for reforming or honing our skills. They will be always, we can do that. But definitely, when it comes to litigation, faceless in the beginning is very convenient, and it gives a confidence. But at a higher level, especially in constitutional courts, I have seen my own clients, the litigants, they say that we would like to be in the court to see that we are getting justice. So there, I think an effective hearing in a physical court still remains very relevant. Yes, assessment stage in CAT appeal stage where quantity is there, definitely the reforms have paid off. With this, I come to.
I just want to add that the higher courts, the High Court as well as the Supreme Court, we have virtual hearings. And every court is supposed to have a virtual access. So it is not that you are forced to come physically to the court. Now it's changing, the world is changing, and we have to change with that.
Now coming to the one very important aspect. It is which is more relevant to Karishma's thing. International taxation, Paresh Bhai and Karishma. In this global world, now taxation, litigation, and everything we are talking about the planning and all. How do you see it is going forward in the international as a global village? What the tax litigation and tax planning and all these things what meaning they will have? So,
well, you will still keep paying taxes, that meaning is for sure. But yes, it gives us an international exposure to other countries' taxation. Double taxation avoidance treaties will now have to be read by one and all, because if you have to advise global corporations, you will have to be familiar with international taxation, DTAs, Section 90, 91. Is it part of your syllabus?
Some part we have.
Yes, but you should give them some idea of some of the international tax matters. So it will have a lot of relevance, because nobody wants to pay tax. That's the bottom line. And if you are in one country and required to pay tax for the same transaction in another country, there are rules that you can pay only in one country. There are certain points which you have to satisfy the governments on, and you can avoid paying tax officially. Yes?
Thank you, sir. Shivaram sir, you would like to say?
Yes, and in fact, you know that the international taxation, one of subject I think we are going to discuss. But let me share with you that one of our senior told us, many times we just jump to international taxation without knowing the basic principle of taxation. Now, in no doubt, 123 countries there are specialized. But you know, as a tax practitioner or chartered accountant or advocate, you cannot go directly jump to the international taxation. You have to study the local law, then you specialize on international taxation, like Parisha is there, you specialize in the FEMA. Without your basic things on the local law, you cannot advise on international. That is one aspect. Secondly, Gopal, I thought of sharing one important aspect which is linked with the entire practice of the students. That is, you know, what we have seen that now, Income Tax Act, it refers 123 Central Act about various state legislation. Therefore, your general law knowledge is very important. But what I feel now, your entire course also, there is no discussion on general law, like your Transfer Property Act, Stamp Act, there is no discussion. Registration, because you will be missing these all the and contributions. One thing I thought of sharing with the student across the country. For one example, I will give you our seniors like Palkiwala, or the YP Trivedi, PH Party. All of them started with general law. Then they shifted to taxation. That's why you find their mastery over the.
Well, Lordship also the same.
That their mastery over the act become very important. Therefore, students those who want to build their career in the taxation field, they want good counsel. First, initial stage, they should join some general practice with general law. Sham always there because one of the experts. And you know, thereafter what shift over to direct tax or indirect tax, FEMA, whatever it may be. That will go long way. But you simply directly jump to the tax. And then you know you start thereafter going back to it is not difficult. This is my advice to all the students. They should develop the general law first. They know the basic of general law. Then you study that like partnership and what so many things are there. Then you develop it. Then you become the one of the very competent lawyer, be able to argue any complex taxation if you know the general law. This is what my advice to the students across the country. They should take note of that and they should study on that. Next time in planning, have some subject on general. Okay.
Jayant, in brief.
Very brief. Just because there are a number of students, one word of advice, while I don't have anything against international tax, I entirely agree with what Mr. Shivaram has said. But also don't get influenced, because you are at an early stage in your careers. Don't get driven by the charisma or because of the attractiveness or newsworthiness of some item. Look at what suits your practice best, and especially if you are practicing in a smaller town, keep aware of your environment. Ultimately, if you want to make a career, of course, first your grounding, and not to say that a person from a Mofussil town cannot become an excellent advocate at international law also. But there are steps that you have to go through. There is a ladder you have to progress, and don't take your career decision influenced by what seems to be in the news. Take it based on what suits your abilities and your environment. And I would simply say that when you enter into any field of law, whether it is matrimonial law or civil law, corporate law, once you study it in depth, it is as attractive as international law, international tax. So, the world is open to all of you students. See what suits you best. Don't get driven by the attraction of something. That is the wrong way to make a choice. That's all I would say.
Thank you very much, Jayant. Friends, Akbar is after me saying that I have to conclude, but I am tempted to ask last one question with permission of Akbar, because all people who are sitting here are first generation professionals. Lordship is a first generation lawyer. Whether there were any challenges due to this, or it was advantageous as there was no baggage to carry. Yes.
Both. When you are a first generation, you have a lot to learn. And when you are the next generation, you have a pedigree. You already have the DNA. So the advantages are there, but then the expectations are not so many. If you are a second generation, third generation, everybody expects from you. I have seen a lot of colleagues, there's a lot of expectation and they have to live up to it. When you're a first generation, sky is the limit. Whatever you do, work hard, everything is recognized. And I can say I was very lucky that I got encouraging colleagues and seniors to encourage me till where I am. So I think there are advantages, but your mindset has to be open. Don't have an attitude when you are a first generation. Have the attitude to learn. That's it. Okay?
Thank you. Sir,
But I do agree with the Honorable Justice, first generation there was protection. Reason being, I also came to practice by accident. I was the student where Mr. Patil was teaching the income tax. By accident I came to know, then after completing the law, he asked me to join his church. That's why I came. But one thing I thought of sharing with you, that the students, whether first generation, second generation, third generation, at least in income tax practice in Mumbai, it will not make any difference. For this reason I tell you, it is in the income tax, especially council practice, I am telling you, it is only your capacity is counted. When you argue for tribunal, 20, 30 people are sitting backside you and they will watch you. If you perform well, next time they will preach you. Therefore, one day, on our charter content, he told me, I asked him that, how you feel that about, they having the very good office and, posh area. He said, sir, don't worry. We charter content, we believe in the delivery. We don't believe in the posh office. We don't believe in where your office is there. Tomorrow, if you sit in the char also, we will come over there, we will brief you. So this is what I found in Mumbai city. And Mumbai city is such a great city. They are least bothered whether Gujarati, Marwadi, whatever may be the case, or which place. But ultimately they believe you if you are able to deliver. If you are sincere, able to deliver. Because I have seen that all my juniors about, I think about 20, whatever may be, all are from different field, not from different castes. They not belong to the south, north, east, west, all. But let me, one more thing I'll share with you. All my, I think 6 juniors are giving the talk on this your course is concerned. And all of them put 10 years. And and all of them are telling all of them better than me.
Yes,
So
sir.
that itself, I feel more proud that this is the beauty of Mumbai is concerned. I don't know what is small place, but let me share with you one more thing. Mumbai, all our seniors, rather than the card, they don't have card also. They don't have letterhead also. They don't ask you to that, come to my chamber, come to hotel, nothing like that. So this is how the professionally they maintain, that is how we are able to develop that tradition. But I am fortunate that we are a great tradition, Alkiwala, all the seniors, and I am sure that your younger generation also trying to do that, and the students across the country, they should go with that, the long tradition and hard work. I think automatically people will come to you and you will become one of the leading experts. That is what I feel.
Jayant.
Okay, very quickly agreeing with what both my prior speakers have said, but just one word, I'll recollect the words of my father. I was the first person to pass BCom also from my family. In the sense they were more into science side. At that time science used to be the thing. I said that I want to do this BCom and then thought of doing CA. One word of advice my father gave. I said, I don't know how I will succeed. He always used to tell me there is always room at the top. Aim for there and you will reach there. And I think that's what works in Bombay. Have the quality, as he has said, have the capacity to work, and room for you will always be there.
Thank you, Jayant. For all of us, I will say one thing. Caliber has no pedigree. Caliber can be only with your hard work and sincerity. That defines everything. With this, I hand over the mic to Akbar.
Thank you, Gopal. Very interesting. We would like to hear more of it someday, some other day. To the students, I would just like to mention that learning is very important. Whether you are as a student and later on in life, whether you become professionals in practice of law or in business or otherwise, learning of tax laws is very important, because if you have the necessary knowledge of tax, you know, because each and every one of us is getting affected by tax, and therefore it is very imperative to have that knowledge, that you know the tax laws, what affects you individually, and therefore learning becomes very, very necessary. And this particular course will help you do that. Thank you so much. May I now invite His Lordship Abhay Ahuja ji to give his closing comments.
I was prepared for the opening comments, but now I am called upon to give the closing comments. But it's good, I have the advantage of listening to all the illustrious speakers. To all of you students who have joined this course, I must say you are very lucky that you will be guided by experienced professionals, and the course material that you will get will also be prepared by experts who have number of years in the profession. They are all practicing lawyers and chartered accountants. Taxation as a subject may be difficult. Yes, I agree with my earlier erstwhile colleague at the bar that you should have included general studies also, general laws, as part of your syllabus. Because unless you have knowledge of law, how to apply taxation may become difficult. So just having knowledge of tax may not be it. And yes, for a few years you should, in your practice, work with general practitioners. That is very, very important. Because once you have your grounding in basics, then you can develop on it. I think most of the experts here have done that before starting their tax practice. As far as joining this profession is concerned, considering that the litigation is going down, I don't think the litigation will reduce, though initially it appears so, because the tax base, the taxpayer base is still very small in our country. And once that grows, the litigation may also grow. Besides, litigation is not the only tax practice. There is advisory also. Tax advisory role is a very, very big role that you all can play. And even as general practicing lawyers, knowledge of taxation laws will give you, what shall we say, a better fillip than the other practicing lawyers. Because you can give an overall advice, a holistic advice to your clients whenever you choose to do that type of practice. We are all students of law till the time we live. Because not only taxation law, all kinds of laws would have to be abided by till the end. So if we even choose not to practice these laws, the knowledge will still help us. With these words, I congratulate the CTC, right? Chamber of Tax Consultants, the Government Law College, all the participants, the organizers, my colleagues on the days today for inviting me here and sharing something which I thought was worth it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Lordship. May I now invite Shashank Mehta to propose a vote of thanks. After he proposes a vote of thanks, we'll have a small health break and there will be tea and refreshments served in the neighboring room. Everybody is invited to join in.
Very good evening, one and all. I read somewhere that no duty is more urgent than that of returning thanks. I consider it to be my privilege to have been assigned this pleasant task of delivering vote of thanks to these esteemed panelists. For any law enthusiast, there are 3 B's which are like intrinsic, or I can say inherent to any kind of law enthusiast. The first B is the book. Like Gopal sir mentioned, once a student of law, always a student of law. So first B, book. The second one, bar. And the third one is the bench. We are fortunate to have all these 3 B's together at the same platform today. To start with the top, that is the bench, I express my heartfelt gratitude to Honorable Justice Ahuja sir for sparing his time today with us. He is today like a school teacher who has met the students outside the school. Whenever we interact with our teachers in the classroom, the rapport or the bonding or the kind of conversation we have is a bit formal. Whereas when we meet our teachers outside the classroom, it is something else, there is some kind of, I can say excitement, some kind of curiosity which we all have to meet our teacher outside the classroom. So that is what I can relate today, sir. Thirdly, I would express my gratitude to all the esteemed panelists for expressing their views on how the things are going to be ahead, the future of litigation, especially in the taxation laws. Their suggestions on each and every aspect as to how we can, improvise ourselves, especially the principles, sticking to the ethics principles and the way ahead as to how we can, collectively go with the flow of this entire litigation career. Once again, I would like to thank the entire team for, sparing their time today with all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shashank. We'll have a health break for 15 minutes, reassemble here, and Mr. Devendra Jayant takes over.